Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Feel your body sink gently into the mattress as the sound of soft music fills the air. You are about to drift to Athens, Greece, the cradle of civilization, the heart of ancient dreams, where marble whispers to the moon and time itself moves slowly. Imagine warm air brushing your face. The faint scent of olive trees and sea breeze dances through the night. Your steps echo softly on narrow stone streets as you begin to wander through the quiet heart of Athens. Street lamps glow golden against whitewashed walls, and distant voices fade into the hum of a peaceful city at rest. You start at Syntagma Square, where fountains murmur and the Greek flag waves lazily above the Parliament. The city feels calm, almost timeless, as though it remembers every story ever told here. You walk slowly, letting the rhythm of your breath match the rhythm of your steps. The marble gleams faintly in the moonlight, and even the air feels full of history. As you walk toward Plaka, the oldest neighborhood in Athens, the streets become narrower, cozier. Balconies draped in vines lean gently toward the street, their flowers releasing a soft fragrance that mixes with the scent of evening air. Each small cafe is quiet now, chairs stacked, lights dimmed, yet the warmth lingers, a silent invitation to stay and dream. You pass a tiny church with its dome glinting in the moonlight. Candles flicker softly inside, their flames steady and patient. The scent of wax and stone fills the air, clean, simple, ancient. You pause for a moment, breathing in slowly, letting peace spread through your chest. As you continue, your path slopes gently upward. Between the narrow houses, the Acropolis appears, distant yet majestic, glowing softly above the city. Its columns stand like guardians of dreams, bathed in silver light. You feel a calm awe rising inside you, not of grandeur but of belonging. You are here, in a place where thousands of years breathe in silence, and the night is eternal. Each step carries you closer to stillness. The gentle hum of the city fades, leaving only the soft whisper of your own breath. The world slows, and as you reach the foot of the hill, the night of Athens wraps you in its quiet embrace. The path becomes a slow ascent toward the Acropolis hill. The marble beneath your feet is smooth, worn by countless footsteps through the ages. Cicadas murmur faintly in the distance, a lullaby older than memory. You move slowly, guided by the faint glow of lamps and the silver wash of moonlight. As you climb, the city unfolds below you like a constellation, lights flickering softly, roads tracing invisible rivers of time. You stop for a moment and breathe deeply. The air is still warm, carrying the faint salt of the Aegean Sea, the earth's scent after a long golden day. Every sense softens. At last you reach the top. The Parthenon rises before you, silent, glowing, serene. Columns of pale stone shimmer under the moon, their surfaces whispering stories of gods and poets. You walk slowly around the temple, each footstep an echo of ancient prayers and quiet wonder. Somewhere below, a distant guitar plays softly, a song you don't know yet somehow remember. Its melody drifts upward, carried by the night air. The notes mingle with the rustle of olive leaves and the soft hum of your own breathing. You sit on a smooth rock overlooking the city. Below, Athens stretches endlessly, the streets pulsing faintly with life. You can see the glow of monastiraki, the lights of small taverns flickering like fireflies, and the faint outlines of the hills beyond. The air hums with quiet energy, as if the city itself is breathing with you. Your thoughts slow. Time dissolves. The marble beneath you feels cool, grounding you in the present moment. The music fades into silence, leaving only the gentle murmur of the night. You close your eyes and let the weight of the world fall away. The stars above Athens burn bright and ancient, and your mind drifts softly between waking and dreaming. When you open your eyes again, you're walking down from the Acropolis, following a quiet path lit by soft lanterns. The air feels lighter here, scented faintly with jasmine. Each step carries you deeper into calm. The city below hums softly, a lullaby woven from distant conversations and the rhythm of the breeze. You find yourself in Anaphiotica, a hidden pocket of peace on the northern slope of the Acropolis. Tiny white houses cluster together like seashells, their blue doors glowing under the moonlight. Cats sleep lazily on steps, unbothered by time. Somewhere, a window glows softly. Someone reading, someone dreaming. You wander slowly, brushing your fingertips along the cool plaster walls, feeling their texture. Smooth in some places, rough in others, like memory itself. The air hums quietly. You can almost hear the heartbeat of the city beneath your feet. Each sound, a leaf rustling, a faint door closing, seems distant and kind. A small breeze stirs your hair as you reach a terrace overlooking the vast sprawl of Athens. The city lies silent below, dotted with golden lights and dark pockets of trees. The hills beyond shimmer faintly in the starlight. You breathe in deeply, feeling peace wash over you like gentle waves. You sit for a while, the stones still warm from the day's sun. A single candle burns beside a window nearby, flickering softly in rhythm with your heartbeat. You close your eyes, listening to the slow rhythm of the night. Steady, eternal, serene. The world feels hushed, suspended, perfectly still. You walk down through the narrow streets of Plaka, the old heart of Athens. The stones beneath your feet are warm, polished by centuries of footsteps. You move slowly, your breathing deep and steady, following the faint sound of a distant fountain. Every few steps, the air shifts, the faint aroma of grilled herbs, the perfume of night-blooming jasmine, the sweet scent of old wood. Balconies lean low over the street, hung with vines that sway gently in the breeze. Somewhere above, a cat crosses from one roof to another, its silhouette framed against the moon. You smile softly, feeling a sense of timelessness wash over you. This city has lived through empires, storms, and rebirth, yet tonight it feels completely still. You pause at a small taverna, its wooden chairs stacked, its tables resting after a long day. Lanterns sway lightly, casting golden halos of light that shimmer across the stone pavement. You can almost hear the laughter that filled this place hours ago. Glasses clinking, music playing, people dancing, now faded into silence. Only the faint whisper of the sea breeze remains, weaving through the narrow alleys. You sit on a low stone wall, feeling the cool marble against your palms. Somewhere nearby, a musician practices quietly, a single bouzouki, its notes soft and melancholic, echoing gently through the night. The melody drifts around you like mist, slow and hypnotic, wrapping you in its rhythm. Your eyelids grow heavier as you listen, the music rising and falling with your breathing. You stand again, continuing your quiet exploration. The street opens suddenly into a small square, where an ancient olive tree stands at its center. Its twisted branches reach toward the stars, its silver leaves trembling in the night air. You walk around it slowly, touching its bark. Rough, ancient, alive. The world feels suspended in this moment. The whispers of Athens, past and present, drift together in the air, soothing and eternal. You take another deep breath. The scent of stone and leaves mixes with the sound of your own quiet footsteps. The night sky stretches endlessly above you, and you feel smaller, softer, lighter. The world is calm and you are completely at peace. You begin to wander toward Monastiraki Square, guided by the soft hum of the sleeping city. The moon hangs low over the rooftops, casting silver light over the old market stalls. The air carries faint traces of spice and smoke, memories of a long, vibrant day. Now everything is still. The shops closed, the chatter gone, leaving only the heartbeat of the city beneath the quiet. You step through the empty market, each footstep echoing softly. The stalls stand like ghosts of movement, their fabrics fluttering faintly in the night breeze. You trace your fingers along a wooden counter, smooth from years of use, smelling faintly of leather and citrus. Feels like touching time itself. Beyond the market, you see the silhouette of Hadrian's library, its columns pale and graceful in the moonlight. You stand before them for a long moment, feeling a reverent hush fall over everything. Even the air seems to breathe slower here. You imagine philosophers, scholars, and travelers from centuries past, walking these same paths beneath the same stars. The thought fills you with warmth, a quiet sense of connection that spans ages. The sound of a distant clock tower reaches you, slow, measured chimes counting the hour. Each tone vibrates gently in the air, fading into silence before the next one begins. You close your eyes and let the rhythm sink into you, steady and comforting. Time seems to melt away, leaving only this moment, soft, infinite, serene. You walk toward the Roman Agora, where marble ruins stand beneath the open sky. They glow faintly, the pale stone catching every fragment of moonlight. You move among them slowly, careful not to disturb the quiet. The night air feels sacred here, filled with the echoes of history and the hush of sleep. You take one last look at the columns before you turn away, walking slowly down a narrow path that leads deeper into the heart of Athens. The path opens to a quiet stretch where Thissio meets the river. The scent of earth mixes with distant pine and the soft, salty breath of the Aegean carried inland. You follow the curve of the stone walkway, your footsteps blending with the faint ripple of water nearby. Above you, the stars scatter brightly across the sky, shimmering like the city lights below. You pass couples sitting quietly on benches, their voices soft, almost whispers. Laughter drifts for a moment and then fades into the air. A small dog trots by, its tags jingling softly before disappearing down a side street. Everything feels unhurried here, life slowed to a gentle rhythm. You stop at a small cafe terrace, empty now but still fragrant with coffee and baked pastry. The tables are cool beneath your fingertips. The marble tops glisten faintly with dew. You sit and close your eyes, imagining the city as it must have been centuries ago. Torches instead of lamps, sandals instead of shoes, quiet songs rising into the night. Feels both ancient and eternal. The sound of the wind moves through the olive trees, brushing against the edges of memory. You listen to it, letting it fill the silence between thoughts. It's as though the city itself is breathing with you. Slow, deep, peaceful. Somewhere nearby, a church bell rings softly, just once, then fades. Its echo lingers in the air like the afterglow of a dream. You stand and begin to walk again, following the path that gently curves uphill. The lights of the Acropolis glimmer faintly above you, a beacon in the night sky. The stones beneath your feet seem to hum with warmth, guiding you forward. You feel light now, almost weightless, carried by the rhythm of your steps. The city hums softly below, and the stars above seem to pulse in harmony with your breathing. You are both here and beyond, walking through time, walking through peace. The gentle slope leads you toward Philipapa Hill, a quiet sanctuary overlooking the entire city. The path is lined with pines, their needles whispering softly as the wind passes through. You walk slowly, savoring the feel of the earth beneath your shoes, the faint scent of resin and stone filling your senses. Halfway up, you stop and turn. Athens stretches before you, a sea of silver lights rippling to the horizon. You can see the Acropolis glowing golden in the distance, the Parthenon standing like a torch against the night. The city breathes below you, steady, calm, eternal. You find a stone bench along the trail and sit, listening. The soundscape is delicate. Crickets, distant water, a single breeze shifting through leaves. You inhale deeply, and the air feels warm and grounding. The scent of pine reminds you of safety, of stillness, of home. As you exhale, your shoulders drop, your heartbeat slows. Every sound becomes part of the same gentle rhythm, the rhythm of rest. You close your eyes and feel your body soften, your thoughts drifting like clouds. When you open them again, the sky seems closer, brighter. 1,000 stars shimmer above you, their light ancient and kind. You feel small, but not insignificant, like one more flicker of peace in a vast sleeping world. You rise slowly, continuing toward the summit. The trail narrows, winding between rocks and trees until it opens suddenly to the Philipapa monument. The structure stands silent, glowing pale in the moonlight. You stand before it, breathing quietly, surrounded by the sound of nothing but wind and your own heartbeat. Athens below glimmers like a dream. You feel it, the pulse of history, the softness of night, the peace of being here now. You take one final look at the sleeping city before turning away, ready to descend into dreams. You begin your descent from Philipapa Hill, your steps light, unhurried. The city spreads below you like a sleeping sea of lights, soft and endless. The marble beneath your shoes is smooth, ancient, cool to the touch, each step a quiet whisper in the night. You feel the pulse of Athens in every stone, every shadow, every breath of wind that moves between the trees. As you walk, the night deepens. The stars above grow sharper, their light threading through the branches like silver threads. The path narrows, turning between low stone walls and scattered ruins. You trail your fingers along the cold marble, polished smooth by thousands of hands over thousands of years. The sensation grounds you. It feels eternal. You pass a small chapel perched on the hillside. Its door is closed, but a single candle flickers in the window, trembling softly against the dark. The faint smell of incense lingers in the air, warm, smoky, calming. You pause and listen. Somewhere inside, the slow murmur of a prayer drifts through the silence, ancient and gentle, carried by the night breeze. You don't understand the words, but the tone feels like peace itself, a lullaby for the soul of the city. You continue down, past the chapel, toward the distant hum of the sleeping streets. Your eyes catch a glimmer of movement, a cat perched on a wall, its green eyes glinting in the moonlight. It blinks slowly, unbothered, and then leaps down, padding silently ahead of you, leading the way like a guardian of dreams. You follow it without thinking, turning down a winding path lined with olive trees and flickering street lamps. The air here is softer, warmer, touched with salt from the distant sea. The scent of jasmine follows you again, growing stronger as you near the bottom of the hill. A soft wind brushes your face, carrying the faint rhythmic sound of waves against the rocks far below. You can't see the sea yet, but you can feel it, vast, patient, eternal. When you reach the bottom, the cat vanishes into the shadows. Ahead of you, the narrow road opens into a quiet street. Apostolou Pavlou, nearly empty now. You walk slowly along the cobblestones, passing shuttered cafes and closed souvenir shops. Their painted signs sway gently in the breeze, creaking like the masts of sleeping ships. Somewhere, a wind chime rings softly, echoing through the empty air. You stop beside a low stone fountain. The water trickles gently from the mouth of a carved lion, its sound crisp and soothing. You cup your hands, letting the coolness flow between your fingers, the reflection of the moon shimmering in tiny ripples. It feels like touching time. Old water, old stone, old peace. You sit on the edge of the fountain, your body finally still. The silence here feels alive, filled with unseen rhythms. Your heartbeat slows to match the city's, one deep, steady rhythm that hums through everything. You tilt your head back, gazing at the Acropolis rising above, lit like a crown of gold against the deep blue sky. The Parthenon stands quiet and perfect, its columns glowing with a light that seems to come from within. For a moment, you forget the present altogether. You think about how many people have stood here before you. Travelers, poets, lovers, wanderers, all looking up at the same light, breathing the same air, hearing the same quiet song of the stones. You realize how brief your own heartbeat is in comparison, yet how infinite it feels within this stillness. The city does not rush. The night does not end. It all exists at once, ancient and new, asleep and awake, fading and eternal. A breeze drifts past, carrying the faintest scent of sea salt and thyme. You close your eyes, breathing deeply, feeling your body grow heavier, softer. The stones beneath you seem to hum gently, as if whispering to you in a language older than words. You don't need to understand it. You just listen. Minutes pass, or maybe hours. Time loses meaning here. When you finally open your eyes, the first hints of dawn have begun to soften the edges of the night. The stars are fading, the sky turning from deep indigo to pale silver. Athens stirs somewhere below, a distant murmur of life waking again. You smile faintly, realizing you never stopped dreaming. The night, the city, the silence, all of it has become part of your breath, your heartbeat, your memory. You stand slowly, feeling the gentle pull of morning calling you forward. And as you take the first step toward the light, the whisper of the city follows you. Soft, endless, alive. The morning light arrives softly, brushing across the rooftops like the touch of silk. You walk through the narrow streets of Plaka, the oldest neighborhood in Athens, where every corner seems to hum with memory. The air is still cool, the sky pale blue, and the city slowly begins to awaken. Somewhere, a window opens, and the faint sound of a radio plays an old Greek song, gentle, nostalgic, full of longing. You pass a small bakery. The scent of freshly baked bread and honeyed pastries fills the air. It's warm, golden, irresistible. The baker smiles at you as he sets trays of bugotza and kuluri in the window, the steam rising in delicate curls. You smile back, taking in the fragrance, sugar, butter, cinnamon. It feels like comfort in the purest form. For a moment, you imagine sitting inside, sipping hot coffee as the morning sun spills through lace curtains. But instead, you keep walking, carrying that warmth with you like a quiet blessing. The cobblestones beneath your feet are uneven, worn smooth by centuries of footsteps. Bougainvillea spills over whitewashed walls, their petals bright against the soft stone. You hear laughter echoing from a courtyard where someone is setting up tables for breakfast. Plaka feels like a dream that never ended, half ancient, half alive, glowing in the morning light. You turn a corner and find yourself before a small open square. At its center stands an olive tree, its silver leaves catching the light like tiny mirrors. You pause beneath it, closing your eyes for a moment. The sound of the breeze through the branches feels like a whisper, a promise of calm, of continuity. Olive trees have stood here since before the Parthenon, before the city had a name. They are the city's memory, rooted in stone, bending but never breaking. You open your eyes again and notice a set of narrow steps leading upward. They're uneven, winding between pastel-colored houses that seem to grow right out of the rock. You follow them slowly, letting the rhythm of your steps match your breath. Each step takes you higher, away from the hum of the waking city, into quiet. At the top, you find yourself on a terrace overlooking Athens. The view takes your breath away. The Acropolis, still radiant in the soft light, the rooftops shining like tiny mosaics, the distant sea shimmering faintly beyond. The air smells faintly of coffee, pine, and warm stone. You sit on the low wall, resting your hands beside you, feeling the marble's smoothness. The city below begins to glow with life. Cars hum in the distance, birds cross the sky. A church bell tolls once, twice, 3 times. But none of it feels rushed. Here time moves slowly like honey. You imagine the countless mornings that have looked exactly like this. Philosophers walking to the agora, merchants opening their stalls, families gathering on the steps, watching the sunrise. The thought brings a kind of peace that feels timeless. You realize that Athens doesn't just exist in space. It exists in rhythm, a pulse that has continued unchanged for thousands of years. You breathe deeply, letting the light settle over you. The warmth seeps into your skin, and a soft drowsiness returns, not from fatigue but from calm. It's as if the morning itself is cradling you, rocking you gently between waking and dreaming. Somewhere below, the sound of a musician's bouzouki floats up through the air. Soft, melodic, hypnotic. The notes curl around you, tender and slow, weaving through your thoughts like silk threads. It feels less like a song and more like a memory, something you've always known, even if you've never heard it before. You stay like that for a long time, watching the city breathe, feeling the day unfold. There is no rush, no schedule, no destination. Only this, the sunlight, the stillness, the hum of an ancient city slowly waking. And when you finally stand, the world feels a little lighter. You begin to walk again, down the narrow streets, your footsteps echoing softly between the white walls. You don't know where you're going, and that feels perfect. Athens is leading you now. Not the map, not the guide, just the quiet invitation of its voice. Every sound, every scent, every flicker of light feels like part of a dream you don't want to end. And so, you follow. Deeper into the city. Deeper into calm. Deeper into yourself. The streets of Plaka slowly give way to the heart of the city, where modern life and ancient history blend as effortlessly as sunrise into day. You find yourself walking toward Syntagma Square, where the grand parliament building rises in soft amber light. The square is quiet now, only the soft cooing of pigeons, the rustle of trees, and the rhythmic steps of the Evzones, the ceremonial guards of Greece. They stand tall and still in their traditional uniforms, white skirts, red caps, and shoes with black pom-poms. Their movements are slow, deliberate, almost like a dance. As they lift their legs in perfect unison, The soles of their shoes strike the marble with a soft, echoing sound. Thud, thud. It's hypnotic, soothing, and precise. You stop to watch, feeling a quiet reverence. There is something timeless about this ritual, a reminder of endurance, of history living inside the present moment. The sun is higher now, golden and gentle. You walk around the square, watching the world awaken. A man selling fresh orange juice, a woman feeding birds from her hand, the slow hum of buses starting their morning routes. It's peaceful in a way cities rarely are, awake yet calm. From Syntagma, you wander into the National Garden, slipping through the iron gates into a world of green and shade. The air changes immediately. Cooler, filled with the smell of damp earth and blooming jasmine. Paths wind between tall palm trees and ancient ruins half hidden by ivy. You hear the trickle of a fountain, the laughter of a child in the distance, and somewhere, the faint buzz of cicadas starting their song. You sit on a bench beside a pond where turtles rest on smooth stones. The water glimmers with sunlight, breaking into tiny golden ripples. It's hard to believe that only a few steps away lies the pulse of a modern city. Here, time has softened its edges. The leaves move gently overhead, filtering the light like stained glass. You close your eyes, listening, the rustle, the rhythm, the calm. Your breathing begins to match the slow movement of the branches. A breeze carries the scent of pine and wild herbs. It brushes over your skin like a whisper, and for a moment, you could almost fall asleep right there, beneath the ancient trees, surrounded by the quiet heartbeat of Athens. But the path continues, and curiosity draws you onward. You follow the gravel walkway until it opens onto the edge of the park. Ahead, beyond the trees, you glimpse the marble columns of the temple of Olympian Zeus. Massive, majestic, fragments of a world that once believed gods walked among humans. You cross the street slowly, the hum of the city faint around you, and approach the ruins. The columns rise before you like sentinels, impossibly tall and glowing in the light. Their surfaces are cracked, but still they stand, silent, dignified, unbroken by time. You reach out, touching the cool marble. It's smooth but scarred. Each groove tells a story older than memory. The space around you feels sacred even now. As you walk between the columns, a hush settles over everything. The city's noise fades, replaced by the whisper of wind moving through stone. You tilt your head back and look up, the blue sky framed by marble pillars, the sun painting soft halos along their edges. For a moment it feels like standing at the center of the world. You sit on a fallen piece of stone, resting. Your thoughts drift freely, untethered, to the gods who once ruled these lands, to the people who built, prayed, dreamed here. And then to yourself, another wanderer, breathing the same air, feeling the same awe. The sound of distant bells carries through the air. You look toward the horizon and see the Acropolis again, gleaming faintly in the sunlight, watching over the city like an eternal guardian. You smile softly. It feels as though it's calling to you once more. You rise, brushing the dust from your hands, and begin to walk toward it again, not out of duty, but out of a quiet pull, as if something ancient within you recognizes the path. Each step feels lighter now, as though you're walking through layers of time, past and present blending into one gentle moment. You pass cafes just beginning to fill with laughter, scooters weaving through narrow streets, the smell of roasted coffee and fresh thyme drifting through the air. Athens hums around you, alive, calm, endless. And somewhere deep within that hum you feel peace. Not the loud peace of escape, but the quiet kind. The kind that comes when the world feels vast and kind and infinite, and you are part of it all. You take one last deep breath, and the wind answers, cool and fragrant. It moves through your hair, over your face, like the soft touch of sleep returning. You let it carry you forward, to the next street, the next sound, the next dream. The streets begin to slope upward again as you leave the bustle of the city behind. The hum of traffic fades, replaced by the soft sound of your own footsteps and the distant cry of a gull drifting from the sea. The light has changed, warmer, deeper, like melted gold spilling over the rooftops. You find yourself walking along a narrow road lined with low stone walls and flowering vines. Every few steps, you catch a glimpse of the Acropolis between buildings, rising like a promise above the city. The way it glows in the sunlight feels unreal, as though it floats between the earth and the sky. You stop at a small cafe tucked beneath a cluster of trees. Its tables are painted blue, the same blue as the Greek flag, the same blue as the Aegean. The owner, an elderly man with kind eyes, smiles as you approach. Without asking, he brings you a small glass of frappé, the ice clinking softly as it melts. You take a sip, cold, sweet, perfect. The bitterness of the coffee lingers just long enough to wake your senses before fading again into calm. He doesn't speak much English, but he doesn't need to. He nods toward the Acropolis and says a single word. Beautiful. You nod back. Yes, you whisper. Beautiful. The breeze stirs through the olive trees. Somewhere nearby, a church bell tolls noon, deep and mellow, echoing across the hills. You sit quietly for a while, watching a few stray cats wander between the tables, tails high, unbothered by time. After a while, you stand and continue your walk. The streets twist and narrow, climbing gently toward the sacred rock. Around you, the walls are covered in ivy, and the air smells faintly of lemon and dust. You pass through a small archway, and suddenly the world opens wide, the Acropolis rising before you, bathed in sunlight. The marble gleams white and gold, and every column seems alive, breathing the light of centuries. You climb slowly, step by step, through the worn stone paths that have carried the feet of emperors, philosophers, and wanderers alike. The sound of your footsteps echoes softly between the stones. The higher you go, the quieter everything becomes, as if the city itself is holding its breath. When you finally reach the top, the view takes your words away. The entire city stretches beneath you, white rooftops, green parks, winding streets, and beyond it all, the faint shimmer of the Aegean Sea. You walk toward the Parthenon, its columns tall and unyielding, glowing in the heat. You can almost feel the hum of energy within the marble, ancient prayers, forgotten footsteps, echoes of laughter and song. The stones are warm beneath your fingers, smooth yet alive. You find a place to sit, near a broken pillar, where the wind moves freely. It wraps around you like silk, carrying scents of salt and wild thyme. The sound of cicadas fills the air, rhythmic and endless, the heartbeat of the Mediterranean summer. You close your eyes and let yourself sink into the sound. It's not loud, not demanding, just constant, ancient, reassuring. It feels like the pulse of the earth itself, steady and eternal. The longer you sit, the lighter you become. Thoughts drift away, replaced by stillness. The marble beneath you feels cool now, grounding you as your breath deepens. You can feel your heartbeat slowing, your body relaxing completely. And in that stillness, something within you stirs. Not thought, not memory, but connection. You realize that this place, these stones, this light, have held countless dreams before yours. They have seen people come and go, rise and fall, love and forget. And yet the light remains, soft and forgiving. When you open your eyes again, the sun has shifted. Long shadows stretch across the ground, painting the ruins in amber and silver. The day is moving gently toward evening. You stand once more, slowly, carefully, as if waking from a long, peaceful dream. The world feels quieter now, simpler. The city below glows with warmth, and the sound of distant bells drifts up again, marking time, marking peace. You turn toward the path leading down. The descent feels effortless, like floating. The breeze follows you, carrying with it the scent of olive leaves and faraway sea spray. And as the Acropolis begins to fade behind you, a sense of calm stays with you, like the last light of day resting gently on your shoulders. As twilight descends over Athens, the city seems to hold its breath for a moment, caught between the warmth of the sun and the cool embrace of the night. The Acropolis, illuminated now by soft golden lights, gleams like a crown over the city. You find yourself standing at a quiet overlook, perhaps at Areopagus Hill, where philosophers once debated beneath the stars. The wind carries faint echoes of those ancient voices, whispering ideas about virtue, courage, and truth. You sit for a moment, feeling the cool marble beneath your hands. Below, the city hums gently. Distant laughter from cafes, the faint strum of a bouzouki guitar, the rhythmic beat of footsteps on cobblestone. Every sound feels softened, as if Athens itself is slowing down to rest. You close your eyes, and for a second, you imagine the city as it was thousands of years ago. No cars, no electric light, only the soft glow of torches and the quiet murmur of people returning home from the agora. The scent of the night is rich and layered. Blooming jasmine from balconies, grilled octopus from a distant tavern, the faint mineral tang of warm stone cooling after a hot day. You breathe deeply, and with each exhale, you feel tension melt away from your shoulders. The lights of the Parthenon shimmer faintly through your eyelids, like a memory you never lived but somehow remember. Slowly, you begin to walk again, descending narrow streets lined with small shops and cozy wine bars. The voices of locals mix with the quiet clinking of glasses. Yamas, they say softly, a toast to health, to joy, to the night itself. You smile as you walk past them, not needing to understand every word. The feeling alone is enough. Athens speaks in emotions, not just language. The deeper you go into the night, the softer the sounds become. Somewhere, a musician plays a gentle melody, slow, melancholic, and deeply beautiful. The tune drifts through the air like smoke, wrapping around you as you pass by. You find yourself moving slower now, in rhythm with a song. The tempo of life here doesn't demand, it invites. A street cat crosses your path and pauses to look at you, its green eyes reflecting the lamplight. It stretches lazily and disappears into the shadows, unbothered by time. That's how Athens feels tonight. Timeless, alive, but never in a hurry. You pass a small Orthodox chapel, its door half open, candles flickering inside. You peek in for a moment. The air smells of beeswax and incense, and the quiet hum of prayer echoes in the tiny space. The golden icons shimmer gently in candlelight, and for a moment, you feel as though the centuries have folded in on themselves. The past, the present, and the eternal now existing in one still breath. Outside again, the breeze brushes against your skin. Above, the stars are faint but visible, a scattered map of ancient myths. Somewhere up there, Orion still hunts, and Pegasus still soars. You wonder how many Athenians before you have stood in this very spot, looking at the same constellations, feeling the same quiet awe. You find a stone bench overlooking the city and sit again, watching the lights flicker below like thousands of tiny candles. The sounds have faded now. Only a few distant cars, the soft rustle of leaves, and your own slow breathing. You close your eyes once more. The music, the light, the warmth of the day. It all begins to blur into a soft dream. You're not just visiting Athens anymore. You're part of it. The marble beneath your feet, the air you breathe, the ancient stones, they all hold stories, and tonight, they cradle you in their timeless embrace. Your mind drifts gently as you lean back. The Acropolis glows faintly in your imagination, and with every slow inhale, you feel yourself fading deeper into calm. The city of gods and philosophers now whispers only one thing: rest. Your heartbeat slows, your muscles loosen, and sleep begins to weave its delicate web. Athens watches over you as the stars turn silently above. The night deepens, and the pulse of Athens softens to a gentle rhythm, steady like the slow breathing of someone drifting to sleep. You rise from your bench and begin to wander downhill, guided by instinct rather than direction. The air grows cooler now, carrying faint hints of salt. Somewhere beyond the hills, the Aegean Sea waits, shimmering beneath a blanket of stars. As you walk, the city changes. The ancient stones and narrow lanes of Plaka give way to broader streets, sleepy apartment balconies, and quiet cafes closing for the night. A cat perches on a warm car hood, watching you pass with calm curiosity. The sound of a mop bucket rolling echoes faintly from a nearby taverna as the last waiter wipes down the tables. The scent of olive oil and oregano lingers in the air, a final breath of the day's warmth before the hush of midnight settles over everything. You reach a quiet tram stop, its lights glowing softly in the dark. The air hums gently with the approach of the late-night line, a single car sliding through the city like a dream in motion. You step aboard. The tram's doors close with a sigh, and soon you're gliding toward the coast, the hum of the tracks beneath your feet like a lullaby. Through the window, Athens drifts by in slow motion, the sleeping city stretching out like a constellation of golden dots. Every now and then, a small bakery light still burns, or a lone figure crosses the street with a bag of bread. But mostly it's quiet. The city rests. You rest with it. As the tram curves southward, the air changes again, fresher, saltier, alive with the nearness of water. You close your eyes, and the rhythm of the tracks becomes the rhythm of waves. The soft clatter turns into the sound of the sea brushing gently against the shore. It's hard to tell when one ends and the other begins. When you open your eyes again, you're standing near Piraeus, the ancient port of Athens. The night here is vast and open. The smell of the ocean fills your lungs, cool and clean. Boats sway gently in the marina, their masts clinking softly like wind chimes. A few fishermen sit quietly along the docks, their lines cast into the black water, faces lit only by the orange glow of a cigarette. You walk along the edge of the harbor, shoes tapping softly on the worn stone. The sea reflects the lights of the city, gold, blue, silver, all shimmering together in ripples. It feels almost like Athens is looking at itself in the mirror, admiring its own reflection. You find a spot at the edge of the pier and sit. The surface beneath you is still warm from the day's sun. You dangle your fingers over the water, and a cool mist brushes against your skin. The waves lap gently, and somewhere in the distance, a ship's horn calls out low and deep, a slow, comforting sound that vibrates through the night. You tilt your head back and look up at the stars. They seem brighter here by the water, free from the glow of the city. You can almost make out the faint ribbon of the Milky Way stretching across the sky. The constellations feel closer now, as if you could reach up and trace them with your fingertips. The breeze carries a few scattered voices from a distant cafe. Laughter, soft music, the clinking of glasses. Life continues gently without rush. The sound blends perfectly with the water, forming a kind of rhythm that calms your heartbeat, smooth and steady. You take a deep breath. The air tastes of salt and freedom. You realize how perfectly this city balances its ancient heart and its endless horizon. Behind you, thousands of years of history. Ahead, the infinite blue of the sea. As you sit there, the line between waking and dreaming blurs. You can almost see the silhouettes of ancient ships drifting out into the darkness, vessels that once carried olive oil, wine, and stories to distant lands. Their sails move slowly across your imagination, glowing faintly like paper lanterns against the night. You close your eyes and listen. The world narrows down to the sound of the tide and your own slow breathing. You feel the weight of the day melt away completely. You are light now, like sea foam, like starlight, like a whisper. The sea speaks softly in its own language, a language older than Athens, older than the world. And as you listen, your thoughts drift further and further out, floating gently on the calm surface of the Aegean. Tonight, Athens has given you its greatest gift: stillness. Your body feels heavy and safe. Your eyelids grow soft. The stars blur, and the rhythm of the waves carries you towards sleep. The sound of the sea fades into silence, and in that silence, you rest, peacefully, deeply, endlessly. The night is deep and utterly still now. The waves move like slow breaths, rising and falling in an endless rhythm. You sit at the pier in Piraeus, the water stretching before you like a mirror of the sky. The horizon is faintly silver, the first whisper of dawn beginning to stir behind the darkness. You breathe in, feeling the cool air fill your lungs, and exhale slowly, letting go of whatever remains from the waking world. Behind you, the city of Athens sleeps. Its hum is gone now, replaced by the soft rustling of leaves, the creak of boats, and the distant coo of pigeons waking in their nests. The streetlights still glow faintly, but their light feels tired, as if they too are ready to rest. You watch their reflections dance across the rippling water, small golden lines that bend and shimmer with every wave. You close your eyes and listen. Somewhere in the distance, a fisherman starts his boat's small engine, a low, steady hum that blends into the morning air. The sea answers softly with its rhythm. The wind carries faint scents of salt, coffee, and warm bread from a nearby bakery just opening its doors. The world is waking, but gently, like a whisper rather than an alarm. You rise and begin to walk along the pier again. The stones beneath your feet are cool and damp from the night air. The first light touches the tops of the masts, painting them gold. You can almost feel the warmth of the sun still hidden below the horizon, waiting for its turn to embrace the city. As you move closer to the heart of Piraeus, you notice the quiet silhouettes of fishermen pulling in their nets, their movements slow and practiced. Seagulls circle lazily above, their calls echoing softly. Everything seems to flow in harmony. People, sea, air, time. You are part of this rhythm now. The same calm that ruled the night remains, only now it carries the promise of a new day. You stop by a small bench near the water and sit again. The horizon glows brighter, pale orange melting into soft pink. The color spreads across the water, and the waves shimmer like silk. You take another deep breath. The scent of the morning feels pure and alive, filled with quiet hope. You imagine the city waking, cafes preparing for the first customers, tram lines humming back to life, the Acropolis catching the first golden beam of sunlight. Somewhere a bell rings, slow, resonant, ancient. It echoes across the sea, mixing with the call of birds. Your body feels light, your thoughts few. Every sound is soft, every color gentle. You feel the edges of sleep brush against you again, that warm, floating sensation where the world becomes blurred and safe. The sea's lullaby continues, wrapping around you like a blanket woven from waves and wind. You rest your head back against the bench and close your eyes. You are not alone. You are surrounded by the heartbeat of Athens, by the whispers of the sea, by the quiet company of time itself. You feel yourself drifting again, not quite awake, not quite asleep, just floating. The soft hum of the earth carries you forward, weightless and peaceful. The light grows stronger now, but it's gentle, not harsh, not loud. It feels like a friend's hand resting on your shoulder, guiding you toward comfort. You smile faintly, eyes still closed. You know that this moment will stay with you, somewhere deep inside. A quiet memory you can return to whenever you need calm. And as the first rays of sun stretch over the sea, you let yourself drift deeper, not into wakefulness, but into the softest kind of dream. A soft warmth brushes your skin. The first sunlight has found you. The horizon now glows with shades of peach and rose, the water turning to liquid gold. The city behind you stirs slowly, the day unfurling like a silk ribbon. The air feels different, alive, fresh, filled with gentle purpose. You open your eyes just enough to see the reflection of the sky on the sea. The Aegean is no longer black or silver but a soft mosaic of colors, orange, pink, and faint violet. A new day is being born, and you are still wrapped in its calm. The hum of life grows, but softly. A vendor arranging bread, a bicycle bell in the distance, the laughter of a child on a balcony. The world begins to speak again, but its language remains peaceful. Athens greets the morning not with noise, but with grace. You imagine the Acropolis bathed in light, the Parthenon glowing with golden fire as it has for thousands of years. The marble gleams, and the ancient stones seem to wake from their own long dream. The shadows shrink away, and the city stretches beneath them like an open hand, ready to hold another day. You rise once more, slowly, feeling the warmth of the sun on your face. The wind carries faint traces of thyme and jasmine from the hills, mingling with the salt of the sea. It's a fragrance that feels eternal, the scent of morning in Athens. As you walk along the promenade, the gentle sound of water against stone follows you like a melody. You pass by small cafes now opening their doors, chairs scraping softly on tile, steam rising from coffee cups. The barista greets a customer with a sleepy smile. Calamera, good morning. You whisper the word to yourself, feeling it on your tongue, a quiet wish to the day, to the city, to yourself. You stop and turn to look back one last time. The sea sparkles like a mirror of the sky, and the city gleams softly in its reflection. Everything feels infinite, not in distance but in depth. Athens isn't just a place. It's a rhythm, a pulse that continues through centuries, through hearts, through dreams. You take a deep breath, close your eyes, and let the morning light sink into you. You feel grounded and weightless all at once. Every worry, every thought, every tension has dissolved. There's only peace, wide, bright, and endless. You realize that you've reached the perfect balance between waking and sleeping, that sacred space where the mind drifts freely and the soul feels at home. As you stand there, the sea's rhythm becomes your own heartbeat. You smile, a soft, content smile that only comes when the world feels right. You take one last breath of the warm morning air and let your eyelids fall. The light becomes softer again, fading behind your closed eyes. The world doesn't disappear, it just quiets. The sound of the waves lingers, the scent of the sea holds you, and the whisper of the wind says goodbye, or perhaps good night. Athens fades gently, not like something ending, but like something that will always be waiting, patient, timeless, kind. And as your thoughts dissolve into calm, you let go completely. You float between the sunlight and sleep, embraced by the eternal rhythm of the city of gods. You are safe. You are calm. You are home.